Edward Snowden's leaks appear to be eating into the support for President Obama, whose approval rating has plummeted almost 10 percentage points in recent weeks. Now, bad news for him, worse for the government, with a recent poll saying 1 in 6 Americans now trust Washington to do the right thing. Marina Portnaya has more on what some are calling the litany of lies separating the people and the state.
Tell the truth, or someone might just tell it for you.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
In America, it's a crime, a violation of federal law, to lie to Congress during testimony.
I responded in what I thought was the most truthful or least untruthful manner by saying no.
The U.S. Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, publicly acknowledged his error only after NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden spilled the beans on America's clandestine espionage activities.
The Director of National Intelligence is now apologizing for what he calls his erroneous response to Congress over NSA surveillance programs.
One of those covert programs indiscriminately collects the phone records of hundreds of millions of Americans. Secret surveillance once criticized by a familiar face.
No more illegal wiretapping of American citizens. No more national security letters to spy on citizens who are not suspected of a crime.
But upon entering the White House, U.S. President Barack Obama seems to have had a change of heart.
My assessment and my team's assessment was that they help us prevent terrorist attacks.
Government lies surrounding the NSA's programs has raised questions about the possibility of additional untruths being told in the name of national security.
I have been crystal clear about my position on Iran possessing a nuclear weapon. That is a red line for us.
The fact is, U.S. intelligence officials and the United Nations have concluded that Iran is not currently building a nuclear weapon, but that hasn't stopped Washington's sanctions.
If we're throwing accusations that are not true, that cloud the domestic debate, the political debate, and also send negative signals to the other side, then we make it much more likely that diplomacy can't succeed and we end up going into a war that was avoidable.
In the case of Syria's civil war,
the French and others had already concluded that he's using the sarin gas in small quantities. But again, this is the red line, and we allege that it killed between 100 and 150 people.
Washington recently began arming the rebels after independently concluding that Damascus used nerve gas against the opposition, findings UN investigators have not supported.
I think it's reasonable to reserve judgment, given A, that we haven't seen the evidence, and B, that the credibility of U.S. government officials is under a cloud.
As for the whistleblowing website that aims to expose the truth, the U.S. has listed WikiLeaks as an enemy of the state.
Until the Obama administration comes forward with a way to allow open this into the national security debate, there's going to be a problem of people trusting what the administration is up to.
The American public has witnessed a top U.S. official lie about the nation's pervasive surveillance program, and an NSA contractor reveal the truth. Yet only one of those men is being punished and prosecuted for their actions.
And if people can't trust not only the executive branch, but also don't trust Congress and don't trust federal judges to make sure that we're abiding by the Constitution, due process, and rule of law, then we're going to have some problems here.
Welcome to your problem, Mr. President. Marina Portnaya, RT, New York.